Beyonce walks on stage and commands 80,000 people without saying a word. You can't even speak up in a meeting of 5. She owns every room she enters. She doesn't ask if she belongs there. You wait to be invited. You hope someone notices you. You apologize for taking up space. What makes her capable of absolute presence while you shrink yourself to fit? It wasn't born into her. It was something psychologists call internalized authority. The ability to grant yourself permission that no one else will give you. Let me show you a moment you've lived 100 times. You're in a room, a meeting. You have something to say, an idea, but you don't say it. Why? Because you're running a calculation. Is this the right time? Am I qualified? What if people disagree? Who am I to say this? And in that moment, someone else speaks. They say something similar. Everyone nods. Great point. And you think, I should have said that. But it's not just meetings. You have a talent, something you're good at, but you downplay it. Oh, it's nothing special. I'm still learning. You shrink yourself. You make yourself smaller. You apologize for your own excellence. Because somewhere, somehow, you learned that taking up space is selfish. Owning your power is arrogant. Being confident is conceited. Shining bright makes others uncomfortable. So you dim your light. You wait your turn. You hope someone else will give you permission to be great. Here's what's really happening. You've externalized your authority. You've handed your power to everyone else. You need validation before you act. And so you wait and wait. Meanwhile, opportunities pass you by. Rooms you should occupy are filled by others. Research shows that 85% of people struggle with self-doubt in professional settings. They second-guess themselves constantly. But here's the trap. The permission you're waiting for, it's never coming. No one is going to tap you and say, "You're ready now." The world doesn't reward humility. It rewards presence. It doesn't validate potential. It responds to power. It doesn't grant permission. It follows those who grant it to themselves. Beyonce understood this at a level most people never reach. The answer is something that separates leaders from followers. It's called internalized authority, the psychological skill of being your own source of validation. Most people operate from externalized authority. Their sense of permission comes from outside. Do they think I'm good enough? They ask, will they approve? What will people think? Their confidence lives in others' opinions, which means their power is always conditional. But internalized authority is different. It's the ability to say, I am the authority on my own value. I decide if I belong. I grant myself permission. This isn't arrogance. This is self-authorization. Arrogance says, I'm better than you. Internalized authority says, I don't need you to tell me I'm worthy. Arrogance diminishes others. Internalized authority empowers self. Here's the neuroscience. Your brain has a social evaluation system. It's constantly scanning. Am I accepted? Am I safe? For most people, This system is overactive. Every interaction becomes a test of worth. Did they like what I said? Are they judging me? This creates impression management. You're so focused on how others see you that you lose who you are. But when you internalize authority, that social evaluation system quiets. You stop performing for approval. You start expressing from authenticity. Your brain shifts from "what do they want?" to "who am I choosing to be?" This is about changing your source of power. External authority. I'll be confident when they validate me. Internalized authority. I validate myself regardless. Here's the paradox. The more you need external validation, the less you receive it. The less you need it, the more it comes. Because people are magnetically attracted to self-authorized presence. When someone walks in and doesn't ask permission to be there, everyone feels it. When someone speaks without seeking approval, people listen. When someone owns their power, the world makes space. But here's what stops you. You've been conditioned to believe confidence requires evidence. I'll be confident when I have more experience. But this is backwards. Confidence doesn't come from evidence. Evidence comes from confidence. This is the confidence-competence loop. Beyoncé didn't wait until perfect. She decided she belonged, then became worthy of that belief.
Beyoncé Giselle Knowles,
Born 1981, Houston, Texas. Working-class family. At age 9, she was in Girls' Time. They auditioned for Star Search. They lost. The host said they weren't special, nothing unique about them. Most people would have taken that as truth. But Beyoncé made a different choice. She decided, they don't get to decide if I'm special. I decide that. At 9 years old, she internalized her authority. Her father became her manager. They practiced relentlessly. Not to prove others wrong, but because she had already decided who she was. By age 16, she was in Destiny's Child. They became one of the best-selling girl groups of all time. But here's where internalized authority really showed up. In every interview, every performance, every moment, Beyoncé commanded presence. Not through aggression, not through ego, through absolute certainty about her right to be there. People who worked with her said, when Beyoncé enters a room, the energy shifts. She doesn't demand attention, she simply occupies her full space, and everyone responds to it. This is internalized authority in action. In 2003, she went solo. Record executives were nervous. Will she work without the group? Beyoncé didn't ask these questions. She knew the answer. Her debut album went multi-platinum, but more importantly, she established something. She didn't need anyone's permission to be solo. She granted it to herself. But the ultimate example came in 2013. The music industry had rules. Release singles first. Build hype. Follow the formula. Beyoncé looked at those rules and said, "These don't apply to me." She recorded an entire album in secret, filmed videos for every song. Then, without warning, without promotion, without asking anyone's permission, she dropped the entire project at midnight. Industry experts said it would fail. You can't release without promotion. The album sold 828,000 copies in 3 days, fastest selling in iTunes history. But the sales weren't the point. The point was, Beyoncé didn't ask if she was allowed to change the rules. She simply changed them. Watch any Beyoncé performance. She walks on stage with absolute presence. She doesn't ask if they're ready. She doesn't seek approval. She simply is. Fully, completely, without apology. After Coachella 2018, they said she took over. But she didn't take anything. She showed up as someone who already belonged. Today, worth over $800 million, she owns her masters, controls her image. She didn't wait for the industry to give her power. She took it. Not through force, but through unwavering self-authorization. So how do you internalize your authority? How do you go from waiting to granting? Here's your action plan. Step 1. Identify where you're waiting. Right now, where are you seeking permission? I'll start when someone believes in me. Write it down. Every area. Step 2. Grant yourself permission. Tomorrow, in that meeting where you stay quiet, speak first. That talent you downplay, own it. Say, yes, I'm good at this. That space you're afraid to take it, fully, without shrinking. The permission you've been waiting for, you just granted it. Step 3. Practice self-authorization daily. Every morning, before your phone, who am I choosing to be today? Not who do they want, but who am I authorizing myself to be? Step 4. Occupy your full space. Watch how you physically show up. Do you make yourself smaller or stand at full height? Your body language creates your internal state. Beyoncé's physical presence is part of her power. She doesn't shrink, ever. Stand taller, speak clearer, take up your full space. Step 5. Stop explaining yourself. People with externalized authority constantly explain. I just thought maybe. People with internalized authority state clearly and move forward. Step 6. Reframe rejection. Rejection stops meaning, I'm not good enough. It starts meaning, this wasn't aligned. You become your own judge. Step 7. Embody. Don't perform. Most people perform confidence, but performing is exhausting. Internalized authority isn't performing, it's embodying. Week 1, uncomfortable. Week 2, natural. Week 3, people respond differently. Week 4, you realize this is who you always were. You just stopped hiding it. The authority was always yours. You just externalized it. Now you're taking it back. If this changed how you think about your power, subscribe to Why for more psychology-backed breakdowns. Next week, why Warren Buffett gets richer and you stay broke. The psychology of patient capital. See you then.